Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted. I think this is the first or second episode we reach you with 1,000 subscribers. So,
Yeah, first one.
again, the first one. So, thank you guys so much for that massive, massive support. You have no idea how much it means to us. And yeah, just thank you so much. And please continue to keep supporting us, keep subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification so you know when our podcasts come out on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. South African time, 10 o'clock in the morning. If it's in a different time zone, figure it out. It will come out when that,
Yeah.
if you hit that bell. So, but guys, today is a fun episode. As we all know, our
Wait. I will let you
What's up?
continue because this is the first episode that we have a new intro song. Okay, we just wanted to tell people that because our previous one we got a bit of a copyright on it. Okay, so we decided to go with the theme song of Rugby '08, the greatest rugby game to ever grace this earth. We've got it in our intro now. Okay, so that will be the song going forward. Brian, continue.
Yeah. No, that is a banger. If you are a nostalgia merchant and you ever played Rugby '08 as a kid, that is the game.
Merchant.
No, really,
Wow.
like it's a pretty cool song. But anyway, guys, as we all know, Wednesdays are our episodes where we either bring you a bunch of interesting news or we have a fun episode. And today we decided we're going to have a nice, fun episode. Basically, we're going to go along the lines of we each throughout the day had to kind of think about 3 realistic signings for all 4 URC South African teams. So if unfortunately you are not a South African franchise fan, please get involved anyway. Comment who you would like to sign for your club or whoever it may be.
But
Leinster,
we do have a
Ulster.
wildcard shout.
We do, yes. We do have a wild card shout for those teams as well, where it's never going to happen, but we just think, why not? Let's just chuck it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you gents ready to give your crazy opinions on who should join certain teams? Because I can feel like
Yes, but we can't say it's never going to happen because crazier things have happened. So
yeah,
Try to keep it realistic if possible.
the 3
Yeah.
signings we mentioned, the first 3 signings we mentioned for each team will be somewhat realistic in what can happen. The dream signing, however, is a 1 in a million chance of happening. But you never know. That one may strike. You never know.
Inspired by the Geordie Barrett move to Leinster.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. All right. So, because I'm hosting, we're going to start off with the Bulls. Let's start off with the Bulls because they're first on my list. Of course, I did them first. However, annoyingly, I struggled. So, how do we want to do this, gents? Do we want to go casual buys, Brett, me? Okay, yeah, let's do that.
And then Brett, and then okay.
Perfect.
So for the Bulls one, I think I've nailed this. Okay. So my first name on it, Kuan Horn from the Lions. Okay. Just because I think he might be a future Springbok, and going under the guidance of Willie Leroux would do him the world of good. Like that would be absolutely amazing for him. I think Kuan Horn can fit into that system of the Bulls. Obviously, he's one of the vital players for the Lions, but at some point, you kind of have to, for him, go into realistic territory. Where is he going to win more trophies? Because that, in the end, that's you want to put that on your CV. Kuan Horn to the Bulls for the future. That would be absolutely massive for him. The second boy, I just don't think Chris Smith is the real deal as a second choice. You want someone that can compete with Johan Goosen, someone that fits that mold, in my opinion. Tinus de Beer.
My
Ready
God.
for that step up. Get that step up from Cardiff, from Pumas to Cardiff to the Bulls. Second choice maybe, but Johan Goosen likes the injury as well. Third choice, boy, we love boys coming home from abroad. Jasper Wiese, get in there. Jasper Wiese, that is my 3 signings. I think I've nailed this. Brett?
okay, we have completely different thought processes, and I probably so every team that I went with two players, and the third one was like a form of this type of player that we can all spitball on. So So at the Bulls, I agree with you that Chris Smith is not the guy. And there were talks of it. And I thought that a guy that really needs to come back is Andre Pollard. He's a Bulls player. The Bulls can afford him. I think that Andre Pollard would do well coming back to Loftus. And one of his best mates, who I also think needs to go back to Loftus, to make a 12-13 with the same surname as a Jesse Creel needs to go back to Loftus.
I thought about that as well, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. And then for my player, my third player, I went with a form of, and I've always felt that the Bulls are lacking a very good tight head. Like they always have good tight heads. No, don't get me wrong, but they've never had great tight heads. And I thought that they could do with a Frans Malherbe or a Tag Furlong, something along those lines. So I would like a mystery signing like a Tag Furlong to go to the Bulls, just to ruffle up some feathers that a Malherbe and a Furlong play against each other more often. Some north-south derbies. Yeah.
Could be massive. I fully agree with you, Brett. That is, I like the Furlong shout as well. The only thing with my wildcards, I kind of more focused on, because they're playing in the same competition, I try to focus more on the Super Rugby, right? But I fully agree with you on the Furlong shout if he wasn't part of the URC already. This is good start.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, don't get me wrong, I thought about the Jesse Creel and the Andre Pollard, and I was like, that would be cool. But, like, I don't know, I wanted to be, like, a tad more realistic in the sense that I think Harold Foster, for instance, right? He's our 12 at the moment. He starts at 12. I don't think he should be going forward as the starting 12 next season. So I went with Ethan Hooker from the Sharks to come to the Bulls. I think he's very young. I think he's very talented. And I think he can grow into a very good inside center with a partnership with David Creel at 13, because I like Creel at 13 more than I like him at 12. So that's
obviously because the Sharks already have Franco Venter
and Andre Estes, and yes, that's why I thought could make sense.
Very good shout.
Then also Tiernus de Beer as well. 100%. I think South African teams are clueless as to why we have let him go to Cardiff in the first place. I think Johan Goosen needs competition, proper competition, and I think Tiernus de Beer is the guy. So I had the same as you, Casual, on that. And then I agreed with Brett in the sense that we've never had a prop we've had good props, but a tight head prop in that sense. And I went with the new boy on the block. He was the captain of Pucker's 2023 Varsity Cup winning side. He now plays for the Pumas. If you guys don't know who this is, Rassie Rasmus has just called him up to his first ever Springbok alignment camp. I think, Ruan Sampi Swiches, I think he deserves a shot at one of the bigger unions. So those were my three.
Did his homework.
I didn't on all teams, man.
I didn't go that in depth. I didn't even look at Cheetah Boys. Just looking at it from a very casual level.
And then I think for are we gonna casual? You can also mention yours for the Bulls, but my dream signing or wild card signing for the Bulls. Look, I'm a Bulls fan. I want my favorite player in the world to come to play for the Bulls, Malcolm Marx. If it ever happens, brother, please just come back to the Bulls. I will not come back to South Africa for the Bulls. It would honestly, I think that would be my drop dead moment if honestly Malcolm Marx ever came to the Bulls. So even though we have depth at hooker, it's just Malcolm Marx is Malcolm Marx. So that was mine. Yeah.
I went a bit different with the wild card because I mentioned Tiernus de Beer. I thought like the perfect signing that you can make in terms of attraction for the Bulls, Damian McKenzie. I've got him there. He can fill in the different positions. I know we said it's unpractical. I doubt that if those boys come over, they're not playing in South Africa. They'd probably go and play for Munster, Leinster, those type of teams, right? But Damian McKenzie in a Bulls jersey, wow, that would absolutely light up the world. So that's the reason that I went for that. And then obviously you can throw him in the 15 jersey or whatever. So utility back. But these are good choices, like proper good choices that we have. And not
I
all of
genuinely
them
think so.
feel that unrealistic, to be fair, except for the wild cards. So lovely. But we heard Jasper Wiese is coming back, and I've got a feeling he's going to the Bulls. That's why I put him there. And obviously, the Bulls don't have that many gaps in their team, right? So, like, I couldn't think, what do the Bulls really need? It was almost tough to identify those.
Yeah, for me, it was always going to be a inside center, fly off, and a prop. I thought those three were very necessary, especially for the depth on the bench as well. I feel like I always mention, our bench depth isn't great. And I think it would just, it would spark so much depth in the team. Next up, let's do Sharks. No, let's do Sharks. I'm going to save Stormers for last because I feel like it's a very interesting one. So let's do Sharks. So Casual, tell me what your three... Oh, Brett. Yeah, Brett. We'll start with Brett. Your two or three signings that you got for the Sharks.
Okay, so mine actually, I do agree with you guys on a certain player from a other team, but I've been saying this the whole year that the Sharks need to sign Tinus de Beer. Tinus de Beer is my number one signing at the Sharks. Remember, I've been saying this before Masuku even went to the Sharks. And now with Masuku there, I still feel like if you can have two great 10s, like the Bulls are trying with Smith and Goosen, if you can have a Tinus de Beer and a Masuku fighting it out for 10, that's going to bring the best out of them. And I think that it can only get better from there. And with a great 10, you need, for me, the best scrum off in the world, Kobus Reiner. He's been at the Sharks.
I also thought about that. I did.
They can afford him. They need Kobus Reiner back because they don't have a good 9 at all. Like, nobody's good. Grant Williams hardly plays anymore, always injured. Hendrickse is absolutely useless. So, yeah.
Straightforward. Straightforward. That's how we do it, yeah.
And then my third player where I said a form of. So this is where I went with a form of the Sharks don't have is like a Kurtley Arendse or a Cheslin Colby or a Damian Willemse or a Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu. Something like that. They don't have it. I mean, the Lions have it in Edwil van der Merwe. The Stormers have it, obviously. The Bulls have it. Sorry. Yeah, so I think they need a player like that.
Great. I like the name that you just mentioned, Edwil van der Merwe, because I've got him in for this Sharks team. We've heard that Werner Kok might go abroad now. I think Edwil van der Merwe has been sensational for the Lions, and I think he can absolutely thrive in that Sharks team. Just look at the one place that the Sharks really haven't lacked in terms of form. Like, I think Mapimpi has had a good season, and I think Werner Kok has had a good season. You can get a lot out of Edwil van der Merwe there. He's an absolute workhorse. And I'm taking something from your book, as you've mentioned multiple times. They've got too many Chiefs, or is it Indians, but not enough whatever, right?
No, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Jibble babble. That is what they need. They need a couple of workhorses in this team. So I've gone with two guys. Oh, this would be massive. Pieter-Steph du Toit. Get him back. They've got the money. Bring him to the Sharks. That's the one thing that Pieter-Steph does, is tackle. And he's at every breakdown. That's him, workhorse. And the second one, steal another one from the Lions. Frankie Horn. There you go. Those are my three signings for the Sharks. And wildcard, Fraser McWright, because he's been sensational abroad. And then if they want some flairiness, Sean Stevenson. Either one of those two.
I don't rate
Okay. So for me, I think the Sharks are lacking a 15 of real quality. Obviously, Fussy has his days on and off, but nothing spectacular. I feel like he's lost his mojo since I don't know actually when. He's just not been the fussy we know when he got his first Springbok call-up. So I actually went with Tyrone Green to go to the Sharks at 15. I think Tyrone Green is a player that would get so much more recognition if he played his rugby in South Africa. And I think he would do the Sharks so good at 15. Then, as a Bulls fan, I did this because it just made sense to me. I'm actually giving them my captain, Marcel Coetzee. I think the Sharks are lacking a six who has leadership, a six who's been there and done it. Yes, Marcel Coetzee hasn't been in impressive form, but we all know what he can do. And I just think a loose forward combination with Marcel Coetzee, Pepsi Buthelezi, and Vincent Chichuka would do them well. And obviously, it adds that element of leadership into that team as well. And then lastly, I think they lack a 5-lock who is simply just a steamwork horse that just goes and goes and goes.
Marvin
I'm
Orey.
sure, no. I'm sure Brett knows where I'm going with this, but Franco Mostert, I think he is the perfect guy for a Sharks team in the sense that he will do his dirty donkey work every single game. He'll make his tackles. He'll be in every single ruck, clearing out rucks. He won't be the flashy carrying that Eben Etzebeth will do. He's there to simply do the dirty work, and he's just the best in the world at doing that, in my opinion, other than Peter Steph du Toit. And then my wild card for the Sharks is I feel like the Sharks need someone that can just take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I felt like this guy did this for the All Blacks the whole of 2022 and 2023. Ardie Savea. I mean, just a player that could just take the game by the scruff of the neck, and even if his team around him is not performing, he will perform, and he could even win a game on his own. So I went with Ardie Savea because
that's the thing, right? They can afford Ardie Savea because they've got all the money in the world, but no one wants to live and play in Durban. Like, seriously. I mean, I don't understand why they bought the Sharks when they could have bought the Stormers. Like, imagine the attraction of earning big money for rugby and living in Cape Town.
Oh, let me defend the Sharks quickly. So obviously, me getting my degree in Durban and playing a bit in Durban winters it's the best place to be in the world. If you're South African and you have enough money, you can spend your summers in Gauteng and your winters in Durban, and you'll have perfect weather all year round. I mean, we used to train in July with our shirts off at 26-degree weather on the beach in July in Durban. So that's why you want to live in Durban.
And life is just so laid back.
In Cape Town, it's raining in July.
It's one of those things. You kind of just live the laid back life, which is fantastic if you enjoy that. But I think next up, Lions. I'll start because Brett went first, so I'll start. So I think the Lions, first of all, are lacking a hooker that really has quality. So I actually said another Bulls player. I feel like we have Akker van der Merwe, Johan Grobelaar, and we are wasting a talent in Jan Hendrik Wessels. I think Jan Hendrik Wessels would be the perfect fit for the Lions. Obviously, a youngster as well. He would bring so much more ball carrying, probably better lineouts. He's just he's a hooker that could be like he reminds me of a Malcolm Marx. He could even be a loose forward if he wanted. And then next up, he is currently at the Lions, but he's only on loan. I just think that they need to make this thing permanent now. Cade Voliter, I think they need to put him as the next Lions 10. Obviously, we know Hendrickse is leaving to the Sharks. I do not want to see Nohamba playing 10 consistently for the Lions. I believe Nohamba is a 9. He can play 10, but I want him at 9. I think he's better at 9. He's more influential there. So Cade Voliter definitely needs to be a permanent signing and be the next guy to take the Lions forward. And then also, I think the Lions, this guy does play tight head, but he definitely started his career at loose head. I feel like they are lacking some loose heads in the sense that their loose heads are aging at the moment. So Thomas Dutoy, I know.
Wow.
He's not coming back.
No, but listen. I think the Lions they'll have somewhat of money to be able to get one guy like that one.
All their
so
money
that's
this season is going into keeping their players after the season that they've had.
Look, yeah, I just think they need, whether it's Thomas Dutoy or not, I think they need to invest in a up and coming loose head who is just going to be able to add depth in that position. Obviously, we know the Lions do have some good loose head and tight heads at the moment, but I feel like some of them are on the aging side. So I feel like it makes sense to get a younger, like Thomas Dutoy, who's 29, or somewhere along those lines, to add depth there. So those were, and then my dream signing for the Lions, I mean, I just think they need a 12 who is an absolute monster. So I went with Bundi Aki. I think he would suit just I know you guys don't, some people on this podcast don't rate Bundi Aki, but he's a very good ball carrier. So I think him and Henku van Wyk as a centre pairing, I think would be very interesting to see. So yeah.
Can I just tell you that Thomas the Toy shout that's an insane shout. For me, he's currently the front runner to be the starting Springbok prop. He's got 11
more tries this season than other props score in their career.
Exactly.
11.
Yeah, 11 tries. He's on great form. He's also, I think I read a actual stat that suits him as a prop. I think he's only conceded one scrum penalty this whole season.
That's
imagine crazy.
He is playing great rugby. I didn't even think of him, so that's a great shout. I'll go next. So my first signing was somebody that needs to come back. That we actually mentioned. Well, you mentioned at the previous team is Tyron Green. I think that. At the back, seeing that Quinn Horn is going to the Bulls, according to your signing, so they need a green, because he is going to play for the Boks or for England. This oak is going to play international rugby somewhere in his life, and it needs to be for South Africa. My second sign this is massive. I think this will be the Lions' whole budget. But a Jean Kane, they need a good, solid workhorse Springbok, in their setup. I know Willem Alberts is 40 years old already, and I'm assuming it's his last season. And then a form of a player, I got Ulrich Loh. Ulrich Loh he hasn't been playing for many years, but he's already like a senior player. He's got that authority. He's got you know what I mean. They need a player like that, a player that's going to walk onto the field and demand respect. And I don't think they have that now. They're trying with what's his name, the eighth man? You mentioned
Frankie Horn.
Frankie Horn. But he's not quite there, so that's my form of a player.
Okay, yes. Brevin, I agree on two of your positions. They need a new hooker, and they need a fly-off, especially because they're losing Hendriksen now. And with the Lions, I'm thinking this is how you rejuvenate your career. You go to the Lions, especially if you want to play attacking rugby. So for the hooker, I've got Joseph Dweba.
I knew it.
I want him out of the Stormers. Okay, he's a shambles, but I think he'll actually do well at the Lions.
When Brevin mentioned Jan-Hendrik Wessels, I was going to say, "Oh, the Lions, where dreams go to die."
Yeah. You said that. But this is actually just me begging them to take Dweba at this moment. Like, I love Dweba, right?
No, you don't.
I said loved. Oh. I loved. Yeah, I loved Dweba. At the moment, I don't even want to see the guy. Like, seriously. Get him to the Lions. I think the Lions can actually rejuvenate his career. But I think I've hit the nail on the head with this one. And you will agree. With the 10 position, the way that they play, Kerwin Bosch, get him in that 10 jersey for the Lions. Him and Nohamba, attacking, running rugby. That is exactly what he needs to do. That is what they do. They create space. This Sharks shit is not for him. They've got a new 10 now as well. Kerwin Bosch, that could be the perfect move for him to the Lions. I'm telling you now.
It makes sense, but then the defense coach
if you
of the
disagree,
Lions
you're wrong. If you disagree,
no,
you're wrong.
it's correct. But then the defense coach of the Lions has a lot of tackling technique to work with Kerwin. That's all I'll say.
Like I said, where people go to die.
Yeah, no, look, I think Kerwin is the perfect attacking 10. I do agree in the sense that if you talk from an attacking sense, the move makes complete sense. Like, I think that's what they're trying to do with Nohamba at 10, is they're trying to have this 10 who's so attacking, and like Kerwin's not as physical as other 10s as well. So, you know, that's a perfect mold. I completely agree.
Is the most physical 10 in the world.
No, 100%. No, 100%. So that's...
Yeah, he has been the last 2 games.
And then the last player of the 3, Henko van Wyk is too injury prone. They need someone that can fill in that gap. Okay? Take Similani off our hands as well.
So you literally just use the Lions as a dump site. You disgraceful man.
It's not a bad move. Like, obviously, he's played a bit better rugby since he's come to the Stormers. But I've got someone for the Stormers. Okay? And to make space for him, I need Similani gone. Okay, Similani to the Lions. I don't even have a fantasy signing for them. They don't have the budget. Their budget goes into how do we keep our players next season? That's what they do. They are like a thrift shop.
I just wish the best for those fellas, man. I love the Lions. Like, I've always had a soft spot, so I always just wish the best for them. So, like, I would never treat... That's why, like, my sightings, I would never just be like, okay, here's a dump site for the Bulls, like, useless. Like, we could have said...
good decisions. They can still do a job at the Lions.
They could. Like, look, like I've always said, like, I thought Joseph Dweber was the next guy. Obviously, it didn't work out that way. Obviously, Similani as well. I thought he was going to do amazingly at the Bulls. Didn't work out that way, unfortunately. But we saw the talent. So... Yeah, no, they do make sense, 100%. But now we move.
Winner, chicken dinner.
But yeah, I think now we move on to your guys' team, the Stormers. So you guys decide who you want to do first, and I'll go last. Unless you want me to go first and you two go last.
Let's do it.
Ching chong chop. Ching chong chop. Ching chong chop.
Ching chong chop.
Okay.
I guess I'll go first. You go first. Okay. Now I've got two players, but they only count as one, so it's one or the other because they're kind of the same thing. Lions, you're gonna hate me. JC Pretorius, or what's the one name that I've always said bring back? Kwagga Smith. We don't have enough guys doing dirty work. Okay, I need a fetcher. We don't have fetchers. If you can bring them both, I don't even care. I need JC Pretorius or Kwagga Smith. That goes for the one position. Secondly, I know it's actually a fantasy signing, but we can spend some money. Bring me Dweber gone. Bring me Malcolm Marx. Malcolm Marx and Andre Hugo Venter. Wow. Stunning. And then finally, because I've shipped out Similani, give me the man from the Sharks, Lorenzo Julius. Because he doesn't fit that. He does not fit the... No, Brett, shut up. It's not your turn. Okay, he does not fit the mold for the Sharks. Because look at the way that the Sharks play. Lukanyam's more like a creator. That guy with a bit of space, the way that we create space for. Look how many gaps Similani's hit, just because he's been put into space. You put Lorenzo Julius in that, and he's an absolute thug. The guy runs riot. So that is my 3 picks. Once again, smashed it. Brett, if you disagree, you're wrong. You know the drill. Don't even start.
Brevin, you go. Mine two casuals.
Yeah, okay. Brett's rethinking everything now at the moment because he was like, holy shit, this guy's actually got some points.
All right, so first up, I went with a man who I think if this move would happen, he would have played for all 4 franchises. Crazy to think. But I think Madosh Chambwe would suit you guys 1000% in the sense that I don't think you guys have... I would choose him over Angelo Davis. Let's just say that. I think
he's got so many wings. It's just everyone's injured at the moment.
Yeah, but I just think Madosh suits. I mean, we saw he can perform in a bullshit in the URC. I think he would do the same for you guys. At 9, I think you guys at 9. Also, I can see Brett's going to probably disagree with this one as well. But at 9, I said a guy who would suit your system well because I think the Sharks waste him is Grant Williams. I think
Yep,
Grant
I
Williams
agree.
is a fantastic 9. I don't
Yeah,
get why the Sharks don't pick him over Hendrickson. I
yeah.
think he's
The issue is just
and
the
it's
combination with Paul de Vet and Urschel works nicely at the moment. Like,
but the thing is like I mean we haven't been Paul DeVet's obviously injured at the moment, correct?
yeah.
I mean, and then there's your famous player casual that you love to see on the bench every.
No, his name's banned. You're not allowed to say it. I've copyrighted the name.
Okay. And then for you guys, I said these two twins should make their way to Cape Town. I said the Dupree twins should make their way to Cape Town. Dion Free obviously retiring very soon, I reckon, with that injury. Hachiva Daimani leaving to Europe. I think to add some loose forward flavor as well as lock depth as well, I think the Dupree twins, even they're 28 years old, they're still ready to play. I think those guys would be awesome for you guys.
Riven, I like that shot because they also carry a bit of experience, right? And we need some experience in terms of leadership because obviously Stephen Kirchhoff is coming back, right? But we're losing a lot of leadership in terms of Dwayne Vermeulen, Dion Fourie. And we lack that leadership. Like Brett's mentioned a couple of times, like Murat is a good player, but he's not necessarily the leader that we want. So, yeah, I like that shout.
Yeah, and then the dream signing, the one that you've all been waiting for. I reckon this guy would be a killer hooker for you guys. Dan Sheehan at hooker for the Stormers. You know how good that would be? Because your hooker is
I'd
not...
rather have Weber.
No way he's not. No, that's ridiculous. That's diabolical. That's diabolical.
My dream
the guy would
was
score.
Scott Barrett.
The guy would score you like 10 to 30, like 10 to 11, whatever. How many tries a season? Because he's just so good at finding space on the outside.
He chills on the wing.
Oh, for goodness. I reckon you guys would enjoy him. You guys are not supposed to be a physical side, and he's not a physical hooker.
I took Scott Barrett. I think that would be a great signing for us at lock.
Could be.
I think Scott Barrett's going to be the next All Black captain.
Yes. That is the correct opinion.
Over Salvia.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so my team, after you two both butchered my team, except for the Priya twins, that was a good call. But Lorenzo Julius, he can stay where he is. Thank you very much. So I think I spent our whole budget on these three players. Like literally, I think we have to fire the coach so we can actually afford these guys. So my first signing that I thought of from the word go is Malcolm Marx. First player I thought of. I think
I've got a sneaky suspicion, Brett.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, because him and Kitsoff are best buds.
Yes.
I'll be devastated.
And they both own Bomb Squad beer. That's in Cape Town. And then my second player, I can't stand him. Like, I really struggle. If I see his face, I want to throw up. But for me, currently, he's the best in his position. Jamison Gibson Park to the Stormers to run the show because we need, like you both mentioned, we need a 9.
Is that your wild card shout?
No, that's my
Brett has taken realism and said, listen, pop.
Yeah. And then my third form of a player, it needs to be somebody. I want a Wrecking Ball 12. I want like a Tripolatu or a Semi Radrandra or a somebody like that. Yeah, but also no. I want somebody like that, like somebody that has more skill than brain cells. So that's why I didn't. So yeah, that's my calls for my teams. I hope you enjoyed it.
No.
That was crazy.
Yeah, there goes your whole budget for sure. That thing is like out the window. Cheers, Dobbo. The fans will coach the team from now on, and we got this.
That's fine. I got this. I'll do it from TikTok.
But yeah, any I don't know. Well, anything else you guys want to add on any sides? Obviously, guys in the comments, please comment whether we are delusional, whether we are speaking facts.
Now everyone's going to comment, you're delusional.
Oh well. But yeah, I think genuinely, anything you guys want to add on certain teams?
We actually agreed on more stuff than I initially expected.
Yeah, I think the Stormers were the only ones.
The same team, but the same players. We all have the same players in mind.
Yeah. No, I think that was fair enough. I think our wild cards was very wild card, except for Brett that just started this, and I won 6 wild cards in this video just before that we initially said. But I mean, yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. This was purely just for South African fans, by the way. So.
Yeah, but maybe if we ever want to, we'll do one for other sides. You never know. Okay, sorry guys, I tried.
What South Africans can we put in their team?
Where can we send Dweber next?
We'll take Sheehan and swap with Dweber. No, clearly you guys want Dweber over Sheehan for some reason. Bloody delusional.
I don't like when a hooker just chills and then scores tries because he's the only person standing there in front of the try line. It's like it reminds me of a James Lowe. He doesn't score tries unless there's an open try line. Mapimpi and Will Jordan 101. So no, Sheehan can suck it.
Yeah, some of the hookers we've seen in World Rugby can be in the same WhatsApp group as some wingers. That's scary. Just score the exact same tries.
Yeah. Well, before this turns into a roast session of players, we're gonna end off the podcast. So yeah, guys. Yeah, maybe we'll do a roast of. No, we'd never do that anyway. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Please remember, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment all your opinions, what you want us to talk about. Send us ideas of what you think we would do for fun videos on a Wednesday, because we're always up to listening to your guys' ideas and your comments, and maybe we'll use one of your ideas if we really, really enjoy it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on this fine Wednesday, or whenever you listen to this podcast or see this podcast. So we will see you guys very soon. And again, thank you for all the support. Cheers.
Cheerio.